Good morning, everybody. It is meteorologist Adrian Weather Forecast, and welcome back to another video, guys. Happy Easter! I just want to have hope you guys having a wonderful Easter. Hope you guys have a wonderful day. Just have fun with your family and all that. This is gonna be a little video on the Easter forecast and actually a U.S forecast for the next couple days. If you want to see what's gonna go on the weather for your Easter or for today for your Easter plannings or plans, you see if they're gonna get canceled, see what weather. This is the video about it, and then if you want to see what's gonna go on the next couple of days in the country, here's the video too. So guys, just have a wonderful Easter and all that. All right, so let's get on with the video. Let's see what advisories or alerts we have for our Easter day. So we actually have flood warnings for parts of the northern Nevada area. So it's around 8 o'clock in the morning over there right now. So people are just getting up. So just be careful. Maybe some rain might cancel plans a little bit. Might have some indoor plans over here for parts of the west. And then we have some wind advisories. So if it gets quite windy, I don't think you want to have like a little picnic there. It's going to get quite windy. But winds can get to 20 to 40 miles per hour winds in these areas. So just be careful. If you don't want to be cold in today, or if you want to be outside, maybe wear some pants, maybe a sweater, as that wind's going to make it feel very cold. Quite some rain for parts of the northeast. We have a flood warning in that northern part of Maine, and then we have I believe this red is a flash flood warning, and then this dark green is a flood warning. So parts of northern Maine gonna have some possible flooding threats for today and probably tomorrow, as it's gonna go on for a long time. Some flood warnings and flash flood advisories for some little counties. Not really like punched together like these. It's gonna be more a little separate. Here we're gonna have quite a lot of rain for parts of the Midwest. Quite a bit of rain, as we have flood warnings or flash flood. I believe. Let me see. It's a little. Alright, so it's a flood warning. And this is, the dark green's a flood watch. Okay, this is a flood warning. This light green, dark green is a flood watch. We have some flood advisories for parts of the Mississippi River, as they still got a lot of rain and maybe some scattered showers in the southeast, as yesterday there was a lot of scattered showers. And then we have dense fog advisory, so be careful if you're driving in northern Tennessee. Be careful if you're going to drive somewhere, because in the mountains it's going to be quite foggy today. That's the major stuff we see so far. Let's get to the radar, see what you can see today in the radar, basically, and why we have those active alerts, if you want to know why. So this is in the morning, around what time, basically, like right now. We could have some rain for parts of the northwest, and there's actually going to be some mountain snow. Not going to be a big threat. It's going to be just in the mountains, not really in the, not going to be in the areas like where all the cities are. It's just going to be more in the mountains. Not a lot of accumulation expected, maybe up just to 6 inches. But if you're just driving the mountains in Montana and Idaho and Wyoming, please be careful, as it's going to be very wet and possible inches of snow on the ground. But not going to be a big threat for the major cities like Billings. Billings is just going to get some rain. But a lot of rain for parts of the Oregon area, California, and then there we have where those flood watches and flash flood warnings are. We have a lot of rain for parts of the New England area, and then a lot of rain again for parts of the Northeast. But let's check out the next 18 hours. You can see where that mountain snow is still there for parts of Montana and Idaho, so just be careful. Again, bring some rain for parts of Nevada, Utah. That's where we had the flood warning, I believe, right here. Or yeah, and then we have some rain stretch going into the parts of the Midwest again. Still some rain for parts of the New England area. Oops, didn't mean to do that. Let's go. This is around Sunday, going in more into the evening time. So basically, maybe you're on your way back home or something like that. A lot of rain getting to the Dakota, especially the western part of them, such as western South Dakota and North Dakota. Maybe some snow stretching in for parts of the northern parts of Wyoming. Maybe even a little snow for parts of the central part of Colorado. Not going to be a lot of accumulation though. Maybe just less than an inch. But these areas can have around 6 inches of snow. But again, just in the mountains. Billings might have some little flurries in the evening as it gets closer. Then you can see alright, so guys, that was Easter. That was today. Let's move a bit more into what's going to go on the next couple days. So we're going to have some more rain for parts of the Midwest. Since we covered Easter already, let's go into the next couple hours. Let's go to 84 hours, guys. Not make this video super long. 84 hours, you can have some rain again for Texas, another severe threat. That can be my next video, possibly. And then it's going to be a band stretching from all the way to the northeast. Maybe have some little snow for Canada. Going to have some scattered rain in the northwest and northeast. 120 hours from now, or 126, as the typical rainstorm or thunderstorms are moving east, hitting again northern Louisiana, eastern Texas, southern Arkansas. Again, these areas having more severe weather, just possible more tornadoes in the south. And again, going to hit the southeast really hard. This is Friday. It's going to hit the southeast very hard, especially parts of the Carolinas. And it's again going to stretch for parts all the way to the northeast. Again, so more tornado watches, warnings, possible flood warnings, flood watches. Just a general scary area to be in as when those storms are coming in. Maybe that possible snowstorm. Oops, didn't mean it. Possible snowstorm for parts of the north right here. This is actually Sunday. Quite a bit of snow for parts of the Montana area, Canada, in the North Dakota border, getting a possible snowstorm by late next week, and then 2 weeks from now, we can have a possible snowstorm, guys. Yes, this will be, I believe, May. I think this will be May. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure this is May, guys. Some possible May blizzard conditions for parts of the Dakotas. Yes, guys, winter is still trying to stay here. If you live in the Dakotas, this is more of a North Dakota storm, so not like Wesley. You guys can get quite a bit of snow. Parts of Nebraska and South Dakota not going to get hit very hard. Going to bring some snow for parts of Montana. Middlings can get some snow. Cheyenne not going to get that much snow. Going to bring some severe weather possible for parts of the plains who are not getting hit. Going to stretch all the way to parts of Minnesota, especially the northern part of Minnesota. But this is a possible snowstorm again. Probably maybe the last snowstorm we'll see this year. But you never know how crazy it could be. Maybe it gets a snow in June, but a very low chance of that happening. So that can be a video about that snowstorm. All right, so let's get more into the couple days. There's a couple forecasts for the couple days. So this is looking like the next 8 to 14 days. Above average temperatures, especially for parts of the southwest, maybe even also maybe just including the west, just saying the west, like Utah. The Four Corners can get quite warm weather. We're gonna have that below average temperatures for the north now, and actually a lot colder for Alaska in the next couple days. It's gonna bring quite below average temperatures for Texas. Texas can have below average temperatures, but again, it's southern Texas. You know how they get in spring. Just because they're below average temperatures doesn't mean they're not warm. A lot of cold weather, especially for parts in the North Dakota and northern Minnesota area. That's where they have the coldest chance of getting next 8 to 14 days. And then above average temperatures is going to stretch all the way to Florida to coast, basically, from the Atlantic to Pacific. And the warmest area will be again in the west, in the southwest. So that's what it's looking like for the temperatures. Let's check out the precipitation. Alright, guys. So again, like we saw yesterday, going to be below average precip for parts of the southeast. And like I said in the video yesterday, so basically the southeast gets a lot of rain in spring, and you can already see that the spring precip, not temperature, spring precip is starting to form in parts of the country, bringing the dry weather in the west, like the rain season is over. But you're probably wondering, the southeast getting severe weather every single week. How are they still below average or below precip? Well, like we said, they're getting a lot of rain, and they're used to getting a lot of rain. They have a lot of precip averages. So basically, if they don't get a rainstorm in the week, and it's just sunny, that's considered below average precip for the south. But if it's considered for the north, if they don't get a rainstorm in a whole week, that's considered average since it's very cold in the north. they're not used to severe weather and rain. They usually get snow, and that's why we see above average precip for the northern parts of the country, because they are not used to having so much rain in a couple days, and they're getting quite a lot of rain in the next couple days. So that's why it's going to be above average precip. Maybe, and then that's where those rainstorms are forming in parts of the northeast above average precip, because they're getting quite a lot of rain, and we saw on the radar, and then quite a lot of precip for the southwest. Alright, so we saw this yesterday, guys. It's changed a little bit more, so I'm just going to go on very quickly with this. So yeah. So basically, let's get just to the 1st of May, guys, to not make this very long video. 1st of May, quite some widespread temperatures for spring. You're probably thinking, finally, spring's here, above average temperatures, nice and warm. Well, that's not going to be the case. It's just going to be little warm fronts staying in, going to bring 2 to 3 degrees above average for parts of the country, including parts of the plains, parts of the southwest. Going to have a below average temperatures, especially for Texas, as they are getting below, but still going to be quite warm. Let's get to the 9th of May. Now you can see that wasn't the case of spring temperatures staying the whole time. Again, below average temperatures spreading from coast to coast. We have parts in the west, parts of the east, parts near the Gulf. So quite a lot of precip, especially for the quite cold, especially for the northern part, where they can get to 3 to 4 degrees below average. The plains trying to stay in the above average temperatures, finally going to start getting to the 60s and 70s. Minneapolis was actually in the high 70s yesterday, very surprisingly. Guys, I don't know if you guys believe me, but it was colder colder here in Georgia than Minneapolis. So that's where you can see it's getting quite warm for parts of the northern part of the country. By the 21st of May, it starts to get a bit colder. You can see it's still above average temperatures, but not really more than a degree above average temperatures, as we saw 3 and 4 degrees above average temperatures. Now that cold's starting to spread, taking it over the west part of the country, the western part, getting 3 to 4 degrees below average in Northern California, and then just getting a lot of states like Utah, Montana, Nevada, Washington, Utah, Arizona, all those areas getting quite cold temperatures compared to averages. And then by the 2nd of June, you can just see not a lot of the country, or actually you can see a lot of the countries near the average, about a half, maybe a fourth of the country. It's very close to half the country is average, but then the rest is just cold. So guys, so that's what's looking like there. Let's look at the if we are above average precip or below in the next. This is daily, not really like we saw in the climate prediction center, not like just an average with all the days. This is going to be day by day. Let's go to the 25th of April. So quite you can see that a lot of precip. If you're in the light green to the blue right here, you're gonna have above average precip. But if you're in this brown if you see the red, you're below precip for that day. So it's gonna be quite wet, especially for the 25th, when that rainstorm is getting in for parts of Texas, especially on Thursday, and then they have a lot of rain for parts of the East Coast. And if you guys are wondering, where's that Easter forecast? Well, that's where that's where I showed that National Weather Service alerts in the radar. And don't worry, guys, no little part's going to be for today, but this is also a U.S. forecast, and yeah. So let's get to the 9th of May, this is going to be the 9th of May. Possible below average precip on the 9th of May, and then quite a lot of precip for Texas. Texas is getting quite a good spring, I would say, below average temperatures and quite wet. So that's very nice way to live their spring. 27th May. So if you go from the 17th to really the 2nd of June, not really widespread droughts or rain. So you can just see maybe some areas in the northwest and then the north getting some precip, but you can just see it's just going to be little scattered areas. So I like this because you can see really details of how it's going to be. 2nd of June, this is not really gonna happen, guys, because this is June. This is not exactly gonna happen how we see it, but that's just a quick way to show you guys. But yeah, we can just see quite a lot of precip this week, and then maybe some drought conditions, slight chance for the southeast to the plains. And yeah, so this is where we can see the if you're above average or below average temperatures, exactly what the number is. So this is 6 hours, guys. So this is another part of the Easter forecast. So 6 hours from now, people are waking up and all that around noon for parts of the western part of the country. Around the midday on today, it's going to be up to 20 degrees above average, guys, from parts of the Nebraska area. Kansas and parts of the areas near Denver can have up to 17 to 20 degrees above average, guys. Very warm. Same conditions for the Northeast. If you're hoping for a nice chilly day to relax and maybe a fire, not really what you're looking for, as you can get up to 20 degrees above average near the border of Vermont and Canada. A lot of warm air, like we saw in the model. We saw that widespread warmth, but it didn't last that long. Nice conditions for parts of maybe the western part, more western part, where you can just see 4 degrees to 5 degrees above average. Very not too warm, but not too cold. Maybe only 40 degrees below average today at that time. But very, very cold for parts of the eastern part of the country, from the southeast all the way to the parts in the Midwest. You can see up to 20 degrees below average today, 9 to 12 degrees below average today for parts of the east or southeast. Very chilly today, and also windy. Let's go to when you're having those overnight plans. The coldest air, and then move to parts of the Carolinas with 12 to 13 degrees below average. And then still 20 to 21 degrees above average. Quite warm now for parts of Minnesota, Wisconsin, up to 17 degrees above average. And then going to be quite some good, nice conditions. And then if you live in North Texas, that's where you can see too warm, up to 13 degrees above average. Let's go to the next 72 hours, guys. And then we can have very cold air moving into the parts of the south, 17 degrees below average. And then you see that warmth start to spread now into the east coast. Now not too cold, but up to 3 to 4 degrees above average for the southeast, and then 17 to 12 degrees above average for the west coast. This is what we need to watch out for now. Very warm air moves into the California area now, up to 23 degrees above average, guys. Very, very warm. Possible wildfires. That's very bad. That warm air comes out of nowhere. That's where you can see that's not good, especially as it comes just like that in a week. Then 17 to 16 degrees above average for parts of the northern part of the plains. Let's go see some cold air moving into parts of the eastern coast. Then a lot of warm air for parts of the plains, up to 17 to 16 degrees above average. Then up to 27 degrees above average for parts of southern Kansas and northern Texas next week. Very, very warm temperatures. And then it gets a bit colder into parts of the, that's where you see those, where that possible blizzard can happen, where you see 21 to 24 degrees below average. So yeah. So guys, I hope you guys liked this video. Hopefully it wasn't too long. Have a wonderful Easter, guys. Please do not forget to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I really appreciate it, guys. And see you guys in the next video.